Good morning Floss Tube, and welcome back to my Floss Tube February update. So this channel is all about my stitching and needlework. Hello to any new subscribers and welcome back to my long suffering subscribers. So this is my February update, and I may have to split this into two videos. So I'm mainly going to focus on what I've actually been doing since I've last spoken to you, and also some things about where I've been that may be of interest to some people, but I'll leave that towards the end. And then we'll possibly do a separate video into what I'm planning on doing in the month of March and anything else. I've got my notes here, so I may be looking down. So let's crack on and get straight onto it, because I have quite a bit to speak about today. So firstly, let's go to finishes. I had several finishes this month, or since I've last spoken to you in January, and that's mainly to do with the gingerbread village. I've completed that series now, so I'll show you those. I haven't fully finished those, but I think from the last time as to where I was at, that was the gingerbread house, which left me, I believe this, because I've got the buttons for them, there's a gingerbread boy that goes there. So I now have the whole set complete, which is really nice. I'm in an R-ing about how to actually finish them, and I'll talk about my plans on finishing later on, but I'm not sure on how I'm going to finish them. I had a plan of finishing them in tart tins, and I've got enough to do that, but they'd actually be quite big, and how would I display them? So that's kind of what's putting me off, although I think they'd look fabulous in them. I'm not 100% sure how I would display them. The other option is that I could possibly finish them into a no-sew cube, and then maybe stack them so that, you know, like children's building blocks. So in a pyramid at Christmas, you know, under the tree or something, or on display. So yeah, food for thought, but I'm not due to be fully finishing those anyway, so I'm still thinking about it, but they are done and they are complete. So my second finish as such, because Gingerbread Village was almost like a whole, my second finish was Forest Snowfall by Country Cottage Needleworks, and this was a SAL, an S-A-L, that was hosted by Priscilla and Chelsea, or still is if you want to take part. And I decided to change it into a cushion, so I stitched it on a larger size than was recommended. So I stitched this on 25 count lugana in the colourway pewter, and I stitched it 3/2 threads so that I could finish it into, as you can see, a larger cushion. But I've actually fully finished it now. So I've used a wool substitute. It's in the Balmoral colours, or not colours, pattern. You can get several different colours in this range. And I thought that it was really nice, blues and creams and wintry. But just to sort of finish off that change in fabric from the lugana to the wool effect, and this is actually a really nice quality wool effect fabric. I've edged it in suede. I couched this on. I know a lot of people glue theirs on. I still can't bring myself to do it. So, but yeah, so then I've just put a little bow at the end and sewn it up. But yes, I'm really pleased with how this has come out. It's on display downstairs. obviously it hasn't got too much longer to go before I put it away in March. Last year in March we had the Beast from the East, it was called, and we had a heavy snowfall, and had this had been ready, or even started and ready, I would have kept this out. But it's a beautiful spring day today, and I don't think we're going to have any more snowfall, so winter will be going away. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So that's my fully finish Forest Snowfall Country Cottage Needleworks. I have actually put all the information in the information box down below. Now, I know my last video I haven't done that yet, and I do apologise for that, but I've come pre-prepared, because actually I didn't realise, now I've expanded my whips and what I'll be talking about, it's actually quite a bit of information. So I've preempted this and I've actually typed it all out and it's ready to go. So I do apologise for those that couldn't find the information in my last video. I will be putting that on there, and I will be, as soon as I upload this one, the information is ready to go, so you should be able to find it, and that's in the information box underneath the title of this video. If you click on the little upside down triangle, I believe all the information should be there. If you can't find it, please just ask. It's not a problem. So yes, that's my Forest Snowfall by Country Cottage Needleworks, and it's a fully finish. So my first, is it my first fully finish for 2019? Possibly it is. So that's what I've been discussing. Right, so let's get straight on to whips. So obviously I've got 2 new starts since I've last spoken to you to share with you, as well as I'll let you know of any works in progress that I've been getting on with. So let's do my seasonal. I'm leaving this on the Q snap because this will be worked on today and will be up until the 1st of March. So this is cuore batticuore Winter Garden, and the last time I think you saw this, I hadn't completely finished doing the cyclamens. Obviously I've done that now. I've also managed to get these done. I'm trying to remember what these are actually. Let's have a look. Let's show you. Okay, so that's what it will look like. Sweet shrubs, they're saying they are, possibly, in the translation. I'll double check that. And obviously they're the poinsettias. I'm looking forward to working on those, although I may not get round to it this winter. It might have to be December. So this is stitched on 40 count pearl grey Newcastle linen by zwaigart, and the border, I mess up on the borders so much. I do more frogging on this border than I do generally putting in the stitches. I don't know why I struggle with it, but it does take me a long time, so I try and pick this up and work on it regularly just to get it done. And this is chipping away at things. It does work, it does get these things, because I never thought I'd get this done. Ideally I would like to, sort of as a goal, finish one of these a month. I don't think that's going to happen this time, but equally my winter is December, January, February, and December is like Christmas, really busy, and you're possibly maybe wanting to get out Christmas pieces. So I didn't really pick this up until January, mid-January, so you know, this may take a bit longer. It's not a race, I'm just feeling my way through this new rotation. So yeah, that's cuore batticuore Winter Garden. I don't know why I've got floss tube, itchy nose and running nose. Typical. Next up, now I may have, when you last saw it, if I've got any of those pictures I will insert them. I will do it this time. So, you know, last time you saw this. So this is the 2 pairs stocking sampler and antique needlework. It's in volume 14 and it's by Phyllis Hoffman. So that's the 2 pairs stocking. And this is where I'm at currently. So I've got a bee to put in over here that's I'm going to use petite treasure braid for. I haven't finished the diamonds because I wanted to put in pears, the word to sit, just to make sure that I definitely had space for 2 of these diamonds. These faggot stitch diamonds. They wanted 2 either side, which I have, but I just wanted to be sure. So just really putting in spacings and things just to be sure that everything's in place. So I'll put 2 at this side and 2 finish that one and put the other one that side, and then just do this. It's just a cross stitch zigzag at the top, and then literally go back down, do the bee, go back down and start on the bottom part, which is why it's slightly skew width on the fabric, because you've got to add the foot. So I'm stitching this on 32 count flax, also by Zwaigart. I love this colour fabric. I'm particularly liking that woven pear. The colours are unusual, but I do like them. You know, maybe a bit dated, but I think that works. It does call for little sequins to be used on the piece. I don't know whether I'll use sequins. I may use, I don't know if you can really clearly see. See? I may use beads instead. So, but yeah. So once I've put the bee in, put some crows in, then I'll have this bit to do. So that's the 2 pairs sampler. The next one. Thank you for everybody that voted for my next Nora Corbett design that I would be working on, and almost by a landslide. The white trumpet, the white trumpet flower Pixie one. And I intended to stitch that on the Rose Potpourri colourway by Sparklies. This is a 32 count Belfast linen. And I haven't really worked on her very much. Which way up? This is where I'm at currently. So this is her skin. I am stitching it 1/1. She's very sparkly, which you probably can't tell. There's quite a bit of acrylic in her. But I'm really liking those colours popping on her. I think that would look really good. So thank you very much for voting. So that is the Nora Corbett White Trumpet Pixie. Next one is possibly my favourite one. Oh, and I'd like to thank at this time Kindred Stitcher, Lisa, for shouting me out in her video, and I'm really pleased I inspired you to go and get Creation by Tempting Tangles, which is this pattern. So it's a Deborah Dick design, Tempting Tangles, and it's called Creation. And again, I've left this on the frame because I will be working on this today as well. Let's just take the pattern off. I've got a working copy of the pattern. If this shows up okay, I won't stretch it because obviously I've made it loose on the Q snap. But in regards to what I have been working on, this is quite a confetti heavy section. I have actually finished this page. I've got 2 pages left to do the piece, so I'm on to the second page. The confetti does continue down here a little bit. Obviously the writing continues. What have I got there? And God said, let there be light, obviously. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy this piece. Once I settle down and I start working on it, I really enjoy this piece. So obviously, got and there's a number of specialty stitches, not on this bit that I'm particularly working on at the moment, but there is throughout the piece. You get that? Yeah. So, but it is a beautiful piece, as I've often said before. Really pleased with how that's coming along, and I'm pleased that even if I don't get to work on it in great big chunks, the fact that I'm getting to work on it when I can and the opportunity arises much more than I was before, without the pressure, is, you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it more. So yeah, that's Creation. And the next piece, there's not any glare, that's not too bad. My Mother's House by Kathy Barrick. So this is coming up as a miscellaneous in my category. And this is where I'm at. So this is stitched on 32 count Belfast linen. It's hand dyed by Sparklies in the colourway Dr Smiths Tonic. And yes, I've made progress on this piece, and this is quite an enjoyable stitch because other than in these, I don't know if you can see, but in these flower bits here where you do sort of relatively need to count it, there's quite a bit of block stitching, which is quite nice. So I'm leaving the black and the words at the bottom until last, because what I'll do is I'll put in there's no place like my mother's house, and then fill in the black, because obviously these are in a very light colour, so once you know they're there you can just stitch. So I'll do all of this first. This has got, you can customise it to put in initials. I'm seriously considering doing the female side up to my nan, and putting the initials in for the female side of the house. So that would be me, my daughter, my mum, my aunt and my nan. So I won't fill all of these places, but have a good go. So there you go. That's my mother's house. And lastly, I believe, I can't see anything else in my tub, is you didn't see me start the 101 alphabets by Rosewood Manor, which I'm considering as my BAP project. It is a book. Very clear though, the really nice size. So yeah. And I'm actually stitching this in hand. Whether I'll regret that, it may become too awkward. I don't even have, I mean I could put it on Q-snaps, but I don't have a frame big enough to accommodate this. So stitching it in hand might actually work out easier if I use those clips. You know, wonder clips, to keep the, because there is quite a bit of fabric. I mean at the moment I'm folding it up so it's not too bad because I'm right in the corner. But here is what I have done so far. This isn't quite a page, but you can see on some of it I've actually come over. Basically I just pick it up and then maybe do a line, or when I can, when it's, you know, just pick it up regularly. I'm probably, well, I know I'm definitely going to work it so that if this, well, this is page 1 and it goes across, I think to 9, and I think page 10's here. I'm going to work it where I'll do 1, go at 2, 10 and work it in the diagonal. I think that would be the best way of working with it. But yes, I'm actually enjoying it. It's all DMC, so worst case scenario, I could wash it. Probably by the time I finish it I will need to, but yeah, I'm working this in hand and I'm finding it comfortable enough. I don't even have to unfold the whole lot of fabric. I just sort of take it a bit and just let it just sit on my lap, you know. In the handling of it, the fabric will soften and loosen anyway, the more it's handled. This, I don't know if you can see this line, that was just me double checking, because for the size of this piece, I needed, I can't even fit it in the screen, look. I needed to be sure that I'd got the measurements right, because that's not a piece that you want to get over halfway and realise that you've got it wrong. So yeah, so I double checked by stitching a neutral colour. So yeah, that's where I'm at on 101 alphabets by Kathy Barrick. Rosewood Manor, I do apologise. Kathy Barrick on the brain, that's because I was thinking about whether when I finish the miscellaneous, too many plans ahead, I know. If I finish the miscellaneous pattern, My Mother's House by Kathy Barrick, would I start another Kathy Barrick that I have? See, that's what I was thinking, but it's not. This is Rosewood Manor. Karen Kluber, I believe. So yes, that is my works in progress. So that's what I've been up to and what I've done since I've last spoken to you. I haven't managed to work on a project every day. I haven't managed to stitch every day is what I mean. But I have increased the amount of stitching that I have done, and I am pleased that at least I know that I'm trying regularly to get it done. Things have started to pick up and get busy again, but I'm much more making a point of doing things that are good for my soul, is possibly the best way to put that. So I'd like to thank everybody for voting on my Nora Corbett and for leaving comments. I know I don't always get time to reply to them. I think I'll be fair to say that in the past, when I've done videos, I've been really good at replying to comments, and I always try to do that. But things have got a lot busier and different now, and I do 11, 12 hour days at work. So sometimes I actually don't get time to respond in the way that I would like to in depth normally. And if I did do that, I'm feeling a bit torn, because if I did do that, then I won't be able to stitch either, because then it'd be time for bed. So I will endeavour to respond to your comments. Just bear in mind that it takes a bit of time. What I do think is kind of unforgivable in a way for me is when I say that I leave information, that I've got information in the information box and I haven't done it, which is why that become a priority. So I went through all my whips or anything that I'm going to be talking about, and I've put them, it's ready to go. It's just got to be copy and pasted into the relevant box when this uploads. So that's ready to go. I won't be back in that situation again. I'd also like to thank you, because I've actually reached 2,000 subscribers. It's like, wow. Thank you so much, sincerely, for all the support that you've given me through changes and for my, inspiration, ideas, those sort of things. Thank you. I am so grateful for all of your support, and I will be doing a giveaway. I'm not sure when that's going to be 100%, but there will definitely be a thank you for everybody that subscribed, and for all you new subscribers, thank you as well. As this is kind of what have I been up to today, or since I last saw you, I'm going to do something a little bit different and talk about what I've been up to. So there's been several sort of New Year's resolutions loose. They're more like goals and life changes. So as I explained, I'm trying to find a bit of balance. I know that's kind of like, the meaning of life type thing, with people trying to find balance between work and life and family and me time and this sort of thing. But so I know that's a work in progress. That will forever be a work in progress. But there were certain things that I'm wanted to implement loosely, i.e. I've got my bin of shame of finishes that need actual finishing is getting larger for me. So I'm trying to aim to fully finish one project a month. So obviously January was Forest Snowfall by Country Cottage Needleworks, which I've turned into a cushion. I'm working on Sleepy Hollow. I kind of already put a border on it, but I wanted to couch a black cord, and I've also got because I'm turning it into a wall hanging, so I've made some velvet hangers ready. So hopefully you'll see that next time I do a video. But I need to kind of get that done by the end of next week. And then I'll be on track for that, of the one project being fully finished a month, so that this bin of shame doesn't keep building. What else? Oh, and the other thing, sorry, brain, even though I've got a list, the other thing was that I wanted to try and do something for me once a month, and try and do it on a day off, obviously. and try and go somewhere that I would be interested in or I enjoy and am inspired by. So I miss January. January is a really weird month, isn't it, anyway, because, you know, you're recovering after Christmas. I work in an accountancy practice, so January is likened to hell for an accountancy practice. However, it wasn't too bad this year. But yeah, so January, that didn't count. February, I booked to go and see an exhibition, and it was being held at the British Library, and it was called Anglo-Saxon Kingdoms. I will show you. I'm going to come out and screenshot. I'm hoping that you've not seen my backside. Okay, so Anglo-Saxon Kingdoms, Art, Word and War. So this is what I went to go and see. It was being held at the British Library, and this is the catalogue basically of all the things that was being held there. It was really nicely done. It's actually finished now. It sold out reasonably quickly. It was on from October of last year. It was a collaboration of quite a few museums and European museums as well, because it was loads of Gospels, but it was the illuminated text that I was particularly interested in, the medieval illuminated text and the art. They also had the Lindisfarne Bible there, and they had the Doomsday Book. So these were the actual books. They had charters there between the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. It was really, really good and really interesting. It was done in a way where obviously no photographs were allowed, none at all. In fact, I don't think you can even take photos in the library itself anyway, because there's loads of signs up. But yes, there was no photos, certainly for this exhibition, and it was quite dimly lit in there. You could clearly see the Gospels and the Bibles open on the relevant pages, but for preservation purposes, they can't be taken bright fluorescent light. I mean, it was really well done, and other than the fact that it was very busy, it was really well done. They had a couple of speakers there reading extracts from the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles and obviously translated, and Bede as well. But yeah, so basically the beginnings of the English language, really. So I'll show you. I should have marked this. I mean, this is a beautifully done book. You can see, really nice. And then it tells you all about that particular exhibit. It's the Harley Salter. It was done in chronological order as well. So let's see if I can find the Lindisfarne. I should have done that, shouldn't I, before? But yeah, I was looking at it thinking, especially the illuminated text, thinking, wow, they'd make really good cross stitches. But they are stunning. They did have some artifacts there as well. Okay. And I can't find the Lindisfarne. I know that's that. And and just for the record, for those that may not know, so this is what the Doomsday Book looks like inside. So it's mainly writing. Okay. And so this is the Great Doomsday Book, Volume 2. For those that aren't aware of why the Doomsday Book is so important, it was done in 1086. Obviously, we were invaded in 1066 by William the Conqueror from Normandy. So we had a Norman invasion in 1066, and during that time, obviously, he wanted, as for tax reasons, basically the first tax book. He wanted to register all the land or any wealth in the country that was spread out over the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms for a number of reasons. One, to give to his men as a thank you for helping him invade the country, but also for tax purposes, so that he could tax them. So he wanted to know if they had a farmstead, how much cattle they had. It's extremely in-depth. But by the same token, as much as that's a terrible thing, as such, because it's basically to see how much he could get money out of people, it is because it's so accurate, it is a great way of knowing what, were, where, what, why, where and when was happening in Britain at the time, because it lists in detail names, places, where things were. So for the archaeological record, it's a fabulous resource, because it's so accurate. It had its own, so I wanted to see it in person. I'd looked at the Doomsday Book through my studies in the past, but I actually wanted to see it in person. It come complete with its own security guard, which was quite funny. But yes, it's a very big book, so it's bigger than it's taller. There was several, obviously, volumes, and you've also got one called the Little Doomsday Book as well. But yeah, because basically it was a tax record, so. But yeah, done in 1086. So, and that was done in chronological order. So obviously a lot of the books that was there on display, and the charters were pre that time. I don't know whether it was, say, from the first. There's so much information, I couldn't remember all of it, and I'm not 100% on my Anglo-Saxon history anyway. That's definitely a gap in my understanding. If you could hear that, that was my child sneezing. Okay. This is quite heavy. Yeah, it doesn't say necessarily, but it's definitely, this is actually just quite a good book to have. I mean, it's full of pictures and, well, it's the catalogue. It's the catalogue of everything that was there that I've seen. So you probably will still be able to get this from the British Library. It's made by the British Library, and I actually think for the quality of it, it's not badly priced. It was £25. I don't know whether posting that to overseas, because it's heavy. As you can see, I'm struggling to hold it. But as this is probably the only time that all of these books will be together in one place for a very, very long time, if at all, I picked up this book. because I did get to see every single thing that was in there. So that was my visit to the British Library. I also picked up this print of the Harley Golden Gospels. It's shiny, but I'm not going to take the cover off until I've actually framed it. But this is the sort of intricate work, all done by hand. So amazing, really amazing. So yeah, that's what I've been up to since I've been gone. See, it's already 40 minutes, so I knew I'd be splitting this section. That would probably be the best thing to do. I have got more to talk about, but I will be doing that in another section now. My fabric of the month, lastly, was from Sparklies, is charcoal slate. I cannot express how much I absolutely adore this fabric. It is just fabulous, and I already have plans for it in not the near future, but at some point. But yes, charcoal slate, 32 count Belfast linen, hand dyed by Sparklies. It looks quite blue on the screen. Probably doesn't help that I've got that blue wall behind me. It's a grey blue. It's much more grey. Yeah, maybe, yeah, in person than blue. But yeah, so that's my fabric of the month. So I hope you enjoyed this floss tube, my progress, where I'm up to, what I've been doing. Hope you enjoyed me talking about my little trip to the library, and just to kind of, as a memory of sort of holding myself accountable really to do things. And yes, I shall see you hopefully soon, shortly, for my next video, where I'll be discussing what I plan to do in February. In March at least. Obviously it's the coming of a new season, so that's really exciting, because that means I'll be changing out my seasonal project and my ornaments. So I'll talk to you more about that, stuff that will be coming up and what I'll be focusing on, places that I want to go and visit, and hopefully what my plans will be. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the books that I have been reading. I was going to do that in this part, but time's ticking on, so I may do that in my next part. But yes, so thank you very much for supporting me. Thank you for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, and thank you for all the shout outs in the past as well. So all that's left to say is I hope you have a fabulous March, welcome spring, and happy stitching. Take care.